Say hello to my little friend!
It is inevitable! I'm trying to build an alliance here.
Oh, you and me? Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, home run! You threw him out the window! Hey, Charlie. I don't know if you'll ever see this or not, but, you know, I've always been a fan of Moist Critical. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, YouTube. Penguin Zero. Yeah. So, yeah.
What is up with that?
Again, YouTube, I guess, just did not like Moist in
So they made him change it?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know the full story or the full details. All I know is that I'm just glad that Charlie's able to post anything wherever the hell he wants, and no one can really, like, tell him what to do or say. He's just doing his own thing. And,
Dude, that dude straight up got away with, like, posting, like, sex toy review videos on... They're completely comical.
Well, of course.
Satirical.
Oh, I remember him getting the Moby Huge. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He was just...
He's done a lot of funny things with him.
I remember Panda... I remember Big Jiggly Panda talking about the Moby Huge, and he's just like, "Good God, it looks like a freaking dwarf."
But
Number one question: will it fit in my butt? Number one answer: it fit in mine.
we were talking because we saw the title of this video uploaded 6 hours ago. It says YouTube did something amazing and then ruined it. Well, I heard last night about something amazing that YouTube did.
Yes.
And I'm hoping he might not be talking about this, because if they already ruined this, then god damn it, YouTube.
Again,
but apparently they told Kohai on behalf of
Totally Not Mark
that what they were going to do was, since Japan's copyright things were a specific thing, but the international copyright laws didn't agree with that they were just going to block his videos from being viewed in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be an amazing idea. And like, I think I think creators should be allowed to start with, when they upload a video, to block countries from viewing that video.
Yeah, for instance, if it's going to be
that way, you shouldn't be allowed to block it from whatever country you're based in.
Well,
but if you're making a video and you're doing like something fair use with like content from, say, Japan or Russia, like, you should be allowed to block that country, and that way whatever their bullshit copyright laws are don't override international copyright laws.
Well, here's the thing. A JonTron reaction of ours a long time ago got flagged by a company in Germany, and it was blocked worldwide. But I looked, and it was like countries that this is blocked in, Germany. But yet the video wasn't visible. I'm like, okay, so if this would have been available, and I could have just been like, oh, so Germany doesn't want this video up because it violates their copyright law, but in international copyright law, it does not violate it. So I could have just marked Germany off as a country that could not see our video, and that would have solved the problem. You know what else could have solved the problem of a couple years ago, when we had 2 strikes on our account for the better part of almost 2 years. It was literally one company, Sony Music of Japan, that kept claiming our videos were in violation of copyright and didn't claim us. They didn't claim us. They didn't block us. They struck us. Not once, not twice, not 3, 4, 5, but 6 times. So for the better part of like 2 years, 18 months, we were walking on eggshells while Sony Music of Japan basically held our account for ransom, and basically it's like, oh, one more strike on your account in these 18 months and you're screwed. And here's the thing. I know what you're going to say. Oh, but Nate, strikes only last for 6 months. You're right. And here's the thing.
They kept doing it as soon as one dropped off.
As soon as one dropped off, they struck another one. And then another one dropped off. They struck another one. And I looked, and the company that was making these claims wasn't even Sony Music of Japan. It was a third party that Sony Music of Japan was literally using to strike these videos. Here's the problem with that. If you read the DMCA, if you read the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, that's illegal. You actually have to be the one to see this thing, and you have to be the one to claim it. You can't just hire someone else to see it and then claim it on your behalf. That is literally illegal. But yet, Japan, because their copyright laws are different, they're able to do that. And this is a problem that YouTube's copyright system has had for a long time. And if we would have known about this, if this would have been a thing that we could do back then, maybe we wouldn't have had to walk on eggshells for 18 months. Maybe I wouldn't have almost gone insane. Literally, I almost lost my mind during this time. And I didn't know what to do. I was literally just like, my channel's going to die, and that's going to be it. I'm going to have to go back to working retail, and I'm probably going to wind up eating some shotgun shells when I'm 35. So, yeah.
That's the same thing I said I'd do if I had to go back to working retail, so I feel you.
Yeah. So, anywho.
My mental health and brain chemistry is not suited to customer service.
And here's the thing. I don't mind dealing with people. It's just, for me, the mind-numbing work is just too much, especially when it comes to dealing with people whom like you pray in your mind they can't be this stupid, but guess what? They are. And it's just too much to deal with in certain cases. But that being said, I'd rather work on a farm than have to deal with that crap. But farm work's dying in this area.
About a text Andrew sent me about Valheim.
Oh,
he played it last night for the first time, and he went in pretty much blind. And
what's his thoughts?
One of the things that happens early in the game, if you're not prepared for it, is invasions. And it's basically like the creatures of the forest start coming out in droves at you.
Yeah.
And he was like, I built a little shit house with a door and barely survived. Just like, that's funny.
You're going to have a bad time. So, we're here watching a Moist Critical video where he's talking about YouTube did something amazing and then ruined it. So, let's see if Charlie is in fact talking about the Toei animation situation. I would say that he probably is. I didn't mean for that to rhyme there, but hey, good thing. I guess good things happen. So, anyway, here we go.
What an interesting week for YouTube. A couple days ago, they did something I don't think anyone ever expected. They fought a giant company on behalf of a YouTuber. Something they've never done before. A world first here. Maybe you want to pat them on the ass and tell them good game. A great move from YouTube, finally. And then the next day, they made an absolutely horrible decision that made me want to cry, come, and puke. It is baffling how they could go from something that everyone loves to something that everyone hates in the matter of 24 hours. It's crazy. It's a real Jekyll and Hyde situation at YouTube. There's a team that makes some good decisions, some good shit that people like to see, and then there's a team that's more active than that team, the fucking boogeyman unit, that makes the worst possible decisions imaginable for the platform. So let's go over both. I want to start with the positive side first to cushion the yuckiness of the negative side. So this is actually a situation we followed since December with a YouTuber named Totally Not Mark. Mark is an anime and manga YouTuber who set a world record for fastest dead channel thanks to 150 videos being taken down in a single day by Toei Animations. They Thanos snapped the majority of his content away because they claimed his content infringed on their copyright and fair use. They don't believe in it. It's like Santa Claus to Toei. So he lost all 150 videos. That was a big part of his channel. I think at the time he was only left with like 60 or 70 videos on his channel after that. So it was a massive blow to him. And it's obviously extremely hard for an individual to fight against a company of Toei's size with as much money as they have. They can just toss their legal meat around as much as they want and not feel it. It's not the same for someone like Mark. So they were using their big fucking nuts and their big wallet to bully Mark and keep the videos down. So he had a very difficult time. Until 2 days ago, we got an update to the situation where Mark basically won for the most part against Toei because YouTube stood up for him and fought for him against Toei. And it actually revealed how petty Toei was. I'll give you like a brief overview of the situation, but I highly encourage you to check out Mark's video on it because he obviously goes into more detail. But he revealed that Toei actually violated YouTube's policy because initially Toei wanted to strike Mark's channel 150 times for each instance they believed that he infringed on their copyright. Now, for those that don't know, a strike is the worst thing that can happen to you on YouTube. It's like getting hit over the head with a sledgehammer. It's 3 strikes and your channel gets deleted. 150 strikes is what Toei wanted thrown against Mark.
So basically, his channel would be deleted 50 times over.
His channel would have left a black hole that took all of the universe with it.
Yes, it would have. That's how hard they would have banned him.
Yep.
that wouldn't have only deleted his channel, that would have sent Mark straight to prison, banished him straight to the fucking Shadow Realm, sent him to hell. That is an absurd amount of strikes that they tried to throw at Mark all at once. They loaded up the cannon and fucking tried to blast him. But YouTube didn't let it happen. They said, no, we're not going to do that because we believe his content is most likely fair use. Like an argument could be made for it, so they initially didn't let Toei do that. So what Toei did is they went behind YouTube's back and used a different set of tools to manually go through and take down 150 videos, copyright block them.
Damn.
So he didn't get strikes, but Toei still got the videos taken down. And this was a complete violation of the YouTube policy. So when Mark finally did get a team at YouTube that wanted to help him and assembled the Avengers at the YouTube HQ, they noticed what Toei did and realized this is not okay, this is a violation. So then YouTube just wiped their ass with Toei's face. Like they full-blown just put their ass in Toei's asshole. They washed the blocks and came to the compromise where YouTube was going to block those 150 videos in Japan only. Which, because Toei was arguing that it's not fair use by Japan law, YouTube said, okay, bet, blocked in Japan, they're fine everywhere else. So now for the most part, Mark has all those videos back online everywhere except Japan, which he's not super upset about. And that concludes the Totally Not Mark vs. Toei anime arc. Now I think it is worth mentioning that Toei can still fight this, and I think there's a great chance they probably will considering how petty and out of touch they are. They could try and make a legal argument that the 150 videos are a complete violation of copyright law and they are not fair use, but they would have to argue that outside of Japanese law. They would have to prove that on like a global scale, that Mark is some kind of evil super villain mastermind pirate sailing the seven seas. He's crossed the grand line and is delivering illegal anime review and manga analysis. They could still try. I think they might, but for now,
I was gonna say cross
hopefully
the grand.
they lose horribly if they do try that.
Yeah, again, international copyright law. Again, here's the strange thing about the DMCA. The DMCA, the original rules of the internet, like the ones that everyone follows, number one, has not changed since 1998. I want you to wrap your mind around that, ladies and gentlemen. It has not changed since the turn of the millennium. And how much has the internet changed since then? How much? The advent of social media, the advent of sites like YouTube, the advent of sites like TikTok, which I know the great copyright purge is now hitting Twitch. It's been hitting Twitch now for the last little bit. It hit YouTube a long time ago, but it is about to hit TikTok also extremely hard.
Oh yeah, TikTok's like almost nothing but copyrighted stuff because they use copyrighted music on almost every TikTok.
Everything. And it's
like you find a funny video of a cat, it's got a TikTok. No, it's got
copyrighted
TikTok,
music.
It's got a copyrighted song behind it.
Yes. And
like if you find a funny video of somebody pranking their friend, it's got a copyrighted song somehow.
And that's the thing.
That's like the
it's
format
coming
of TikTok, and it's gonna fucking steamroll the whole platform.
And I know that a lot of people are gonna be upset about that, but guess what? Here's the thing. I don't 100% agree with copyright law on the internet. For instance, I think the DMCA needs to be amended because 24 years have passed since it was first introduced, and the amount of change that has happened here on the internet is astounding. And the fact that they don't want to touch it because they feel they have more pressing matters on hand, honestly, I think is kind of silly. Because considering that a lot of people make their careers on the internet, hence Charlie, hence us, hence Totally Not Mark, I think it's high time that, things need to be amended and, things change. Hopefully for the better. Mm-hmm. And until that happens, I don't think we're going to see any, full circle, rectifications of wrongdoings that have happened because of the gray areas that exist in the DMCA laws. Anywho, didn't mean to interrupt Charlie. Also, I'm scanning around his room and I'm seeing all the awesome shit that he has, and I'm just like,
still scared for whatever he's about to say YouTube ruined.
That's me too. I'm wondering what they did. Considering the shit that YouTube pulls sometimes, it's hard to not be just like, leave shit alone.
Now it's overall a victory for Mark, and I was happy to see this, and really happy to
Me
see
too.
YouTube
I was
for the
happy to
first
see that.
time actually standing up for a creator in the face of a massive corporation putting pressure on them. So, now that I've fed you the good shit, let me go ahead and give you your vegetables now. I'm going to give you a little coffee enema here, some gross shit. YouTube recently hinted that NFTs are coming to the platform.
No.
We don't know in what
No.
capacity, but it seems like
No.
YouTube really wants NFTs to be an integral part of the YouTube ecosystem. This came right after Twitter introduced the profile pic NFT system they have, where you can turn your fucking goofy profile pic into an NFT, and it's just like this hexagon. The NFT craze, it is an endless drain of misery. So yeah, YouTube is looking to bring NFTs to the platform and ignoring all problems. Like, instead of fixing things on YouTube, they're just introducing more fucking problems and things that people don't want. People still want dislikes back. No one's given up on that crusade.
I haven't given up on it. And if you got Google Chrome, ta-da! You can actually enable dislikes again. It's something that YouTube still hasn't worked out how to fix on Google Chrome. I don't
Hopefully
think
they don't ever.
I hope so too. Also, look at that ratio. Charlie is a beloved.
What's been pissing me off on the YouTube app on my phone is I've been trying to find like certain videos to like help out with like tips for certain games that are kind of older. Like anything from like PlayStation 3 or before, you search for like tips on it, and unless it was a super popular game, you get a lot of bullshit. Like people being like, here's some tips for the game. Me not talking over the gameplay footage and just showing something that's completely not useful for like 5 minutes. And like, well, that was a fucking waste of time.
Yeah. I usually go down to the comment section and look for timestamps. That's just like this one video. This guy, it was a 7-minute video of this guy trying to explain one thing. And he's just like, I want to tell you about this amazing thing that's happening. And then it's just like, but before I do that, I want to give a big thanks to my sponsor. And it was literally like a robot reading this stuff out. And then I'm like, pause. I go down to the comment section and I look, and it's just like, dude says, the answer that this guy's going to provide is literally this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, that was easy. And it's a lot like when you all go looking for Caleb. I mean, he's down there. I mean, he's always there. He's even in other videos. Be sure to thank him in other people's videos, because in all honesty, he's a hard-working man. I mean, he's a cyborg after all. Anyway, sorry, Charlie. Didn't mean to interrupt you again.
Everyone still wants dislikes back, and the only thing YouTube's done on it is double down saying they made the right call. And then after doubling down on the removal of dislikes, they then announced NFTs. Luckily, these two things are going to coincide greatly, because when they do bring the NFTs to the platform, it's going to have nothing but likes on it. You know, you won't be able to see if anyone disliked it. It's going to be 100% approval rate, baby, because dislikes are fucking gone. I still can't get over that, and after reading the article, it made me even more upset just how out of touch they are. And I don't think they're genuinely out of touch. I think they know exactly what they're doing. By hiding dislikes, it only helps corporations, and they know that. They keep bringing up this dog shit argument of the reason they removed it was because of targeted harassment campaigns where people mass disliked videos, which hurt creators' feelings. But that's such a small, awful example to use, and their solution doesn't even work, because the creator still sees when videos are mass disliked. They still see the dislikes. So who does it help? It doesn't do anything. The creator is still seeing that, hey, these people fucking hate me. But no one else can see that. So it's still just hurting the creator's feelings. Like, it doesn't do anything to solve the problem that they keep saying it was aiming to solve. All it does is help it look better. Help YouTube look better to advertisers and corporations. It's fucking gross. It's fucking silly. It's stupid. And it is still the worst change YouTube has probably ever made. It just blows my mind how they can have one team that does something super great, like what they did with the Totally Not Mark situation, and then a team like this that removes dislikes and introduces NFTs. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if YouTube in the next 5 or 6 years removes the ability to even upload videos yourself. You'd have to mint them as NFTs on the blockchain or something.
Oh my
Like, YouTube
God.
just becomes an NFT video sharing platform, and that's it. Like, imagine nothing but bored apes, but animated, and that's YouTube. Just sad,
There's a bored ape sitting right here, and I'm sick of this NFT bullshit.
silly, stupid, upsetting shit. No one wants non-fungible tokens on YouTube. They can go funge themselves. No one is asking for this, and yet YouTube's bringing it anyway. Because right now NFT is that fat hotness. Everyone wants to get in on NFTs. Jimmy Fallon's popping off on Bored Apes. Gwyneth Paltrow's even got her own Goop line of Bored Apes. You know, everyone in the corporate space loves it, and so YouTube is following suit. So yeah, just wanted to talk about these two things here because it's been a pretty wild week for YouTube. That's about it. See ya.
Good God. Good God. So, okay, I was not aware of the NFT thing. Now that I am aware of the NFT thing, all I'm going to say is, YouTube, are you like, okay, who at YouTube is smoking crack right now? That's a legit question. Who at YouTube is smoking crack?
I just gotta say something about a meme I saw the other day that cracked me up because I just realized what the Bored Ape thing was once he started talking about it. It was whoever bought that NFT posted on Twitter with it as their profile picture, obviously.
Yeah.
And they were like, post the last thing saved in your camera roll, and the first top comment on it was like someone who had just saved his profile picture and reposted it.
Yeah. Yeah, but Bored Ape, there's a bunch of people who are just like, hey, who are going overboard with this NFT shit, and I'm just like, I have no interest in it. None. Fucking none.
Well, it's gonna fucking... It's so obvious that it's gonna crumble in just, like, a very few... short amount of time, okay. Because it's like the equivalent of, like, printing money from the government. Like, it's not backed by anything.
No, it isn't.
Like, it's literally backed by an imaginary currency.
It is. And that's the thing. And I know you're going to say this. I know there's a lot of people out there
people
who's going to talk
out
about
there
cryptocurrency.
Yeah, people out there that, like, you know, support cryptocurrency, you're going to probably shit all over me for
well,
saying
no,
it's
and
imaginary currency, but it fucking is.
Well, it is an imaginary currency.
It's literally a currency that only is worth anything because your computer.
Much like how the American dollar is an imaginary currency because there's literally nothing backing it, and it's going off of this imaginary debt ceiling that somehow, some way, is going to, you know,
it's supposed to be backed by the supposed gold in Fort Knox. Or
yeah, the gold in Fort Knox, which is approximately around $500 million. $500 billion. Sorry, we have $500 billion in there, but yet our national debt is soaring, and we'll probably hit 30 trillion within the next few years.
Which just still makes no sense to me that it has to be like backed by the gold. Like, I've never been able to wrap my head around that to start with.
Well, again, it's because the original use of IOUs, aka cash, you know, paper money, was literally, it was an IOU to the bank so that the bank would pay you back the money that you put in. You see, back in the day, whenever cash currency was invented, you know, everyone bartered. But then someone had the idea, hey, gold is something that everyone attributes value to. So if I print these coins, and then, you know, basically they, you know, people get these coins for valuables and everything, then they can trade the coins for other valuables. And there's a centralized amount that it is basically known for. 1 gold coin equals like 1 thing of bread, or, you know, 10 bags of rice or some shit like that. And there always has to be something.
So like, that made a lot more sense at that point because you were trading the actual gold.
Exactly. But as it has evolved and as society has evolved, instead now everyone attributes the green paper that basically everyone has all these dead presidents on it, is basically, you know, not backed by anything. It's not a Federal Reserve note. It's not a Treasury note. It is instead a paper castle built by the Fed
and
that
if you think
has
about it,
no oversight.
Even going back to like medieval gold coins and stuff, like, you know, whenever this started with the gold coin trade,
it was actually,
it's still just kind of a goofy concept because somebody was just like, what's something that's really hard to get? You know, like, what's something that's hard to get? Gold. But it doesn't actually do anything. Like, if you have a bunch of it and you want to do something with it, there's nothing you can do
Well-
with it other than give it to someone else for stuff.
Well-
and then there's nothing they can do with it other than give it to someone else for stuff.
Well, there
It's
was actually
goofy concept.
a theoretical like financial guru who said that in order for most societies to like evolve past the single currency method, gold standard, you have to have something that actually has wealth in the world, and actually means something. And everyone's just like, well, what do you mean? Well, he mentioned that, it was grain, for instance. People could use grain as a secondary currency instead of gold because grain is actually used for something. It's made to make bread, which keeps people fed and which keeps people alive. That's another thing. Again, attributed value and inflation are what supposedly cryptocurrency and like buying precious metals like gold and silver is supposed to protect against. But inflation still over time eventually makes that gold bar that you have that is worth $3,000 have the buying power of like something of like half of it. Every time like the prices of everything goes up, like gas, like friggin' groceries and everything like that. In which, again, dude, like that's why the economy, while the stock market is up, everyone else's rent is too damn high because the dollar ain't what it used to be. The dollar can't buy anything anymore. It has the buying power of like a 10-cent piece back in the day, which is insane to think about.
And you would think like the government could do something along the lines of like just initiate a like essentially the equivalent of like a number squish in like RPGs. Like, and that probably sounds oversimplified and stupid.
No, it's not stupid.
Kind of like
no,
and
people,
it's like they could basically be like, hey, everyone needs to come to an agreement from now on, like from this point forward, that we're resetting the cost and things and the value of the dollar back to a higher amount. And it sucks that there isn't just some way to do that.
I wish it were that easy. I really do. But the problem with it is the fact that they are never going to make any strides like that because they are way too busy, twiddling their fingers and thumbs trying to secure as much power as they can for themselves. And also writing themselves like exorbitant amounts of money in terms of the budget. Because here's the thing, Congress determines what the budget is. That's the one thing a lot of people don't know. Congress is what determines the budget. It's not the president. The president is supposed to execute the budget that Congress gives to him. And whenever Congress goes over budget with that, the next thing you know, when the president is unable to stay under budget because they're the ones who went over budget, Congress is always just like, see what the president did? The president went over budget. That's exactly what happens every single time. And nobody wants to take the responsibility. This is why term limits need to be a thing. Because these corrupt assholes who literally do nothing but just keep winning their elected seats over and over and over again because everyone's just like, well, it can't get any better, but also we don't want it to get worse. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Bullshit. If they are in power for 30 years, don't do anything, and you see their inner cities fall and crumble into dust, what does that mean you need to do? It means you need to make a fucking difference. Do something else. Jesus Christ. It's not that hard to figure out. But yet, everyone out there just wants to keep the status quo. No one actually wants to do anything. And when they actually try to do something, next thing you know, you get a bunch of yahoos dressing up like fucking bull mooses, going into the fucking Capitol building and just being like, we are the representatives that speak for America. Meanwhile, everyone else who's watching this is just like, oh my God, these people are fucking idiots. And then you have the Antifa assholes who say we want to overthrow the government and make this a communist society where everyone is equal. Okay, have you not studied what communism has done to every country where it has been a thing? And you realize
they just haven't done it right.
Oh, they haven't done it right. Oh, sure, okay.
Maybe that's because human nature doesn't allow it to be done right.
Exactly. Here's the thing. Say what you will about the capitalist society
Unless
we
you
have in
like
America.
a computer program in charge, like an AI in charge. Like
It's never, which which they're never going to give that up because human beings and their desire for power, they're never going to let an AI who's good at its job run everything, because then, well, how are they going to skim people? How are they going to skim the government? How are they going to skim off top of the tax bracket? You know, and that's the other thing with, say what you will about the capitalist society we have here in America. Say what you will about it. You know, I have my gripes about it. It's not perfect, but it's a damn sight better than than every communist country out there. Every communist country. I mean, people want to talk about China. It's like, well, China's communist and everyone there's happy. Really? Go to China. Dude. I actually know someone who has lived in China. Lived in China for over, like, I think it was like 6 years. And guess what? He could not wait to get back to the States because of the amount of freedoms that he had taken away versus what is here in the United States. And I hate when people pretend like they know what it's like to live over there. When I've talked to people who are actually from China who moved over here to get away from that, and then people who actually moved over there thinking that, oh, the grass was greener on the other side, and then they come back, it's like, dude, I am never leaving the States again. Never.
Everyone I've ever talked to that's come from like a country that has a government like that in place and came over here, it's just like, why are there idiots here that want that kind of government in place here?
Because they don't know any better.
Yep.
And because they don't know any better, and they feel like, oh, because, you know, we're not properly represented at the very top. You know, and here's the thing, guys. I'm not going to go over representation. I'm not going to go over, you know, like, we need proper representation. It's just like, in my opinion, if you're good at your job and you actually do good for people, I don't care what skin color you are. You could be a green, like a green Martian man with orange hoof feet and white antlers growing out of your asshole. I don't care. If you are doing a good job, I'm going to vote for you. But if you don't do a good job, all I'm going to say is, hey, there's always, say what?
Get out and let someone else do it.
Yeah, that's what basically all I get. I was going to say something else, but I have to stop myself.
I think we should stop ourselves on this conversation anyways, because this is going way into something off topic.
Yeah, well, it started with NFTs.
The point was NFTs are stupid.
Yeah.
Non-fungible token, something that can't be replicated. But they can be!
Yeah.
They all can be!
Yeah. And
they're not one of a kind.
And as Charlie said, NFTs can go funge themselves. Anyway, that's going to do it, everyone. See you later. Bye.
I know how it feel to wake up fucked up. I remember I was just like you. A bad boy just like Notorious Big.
I should've seen you was jumping right from the start. I catch him on the streets,
You better have your cat in hand, cause man,
it's like a sin that got the both of us in trouble.